This is the inaugural episode of the Hammers and Hustles podcast. I am your host, Josiah Hollabaugh. I'm with Good Life Claims. I am a licensed public adjuster in the state of Iowa and Nebraska. I own a supplement company that handles claims across the country, and I am a educator. So I do training classes, webinars, all kinds of things as they come up. So with me today and my co-host moving forward is the infamous Simi Butler. He is the owner of Roofing the 502 or 502 Roofing and Remodeling, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Based in Louisville. They do, what do you say, primarily insurance claims? How much retail work do you guys do?
Retail is very, very few. As much as I hate the insurance claims, I deep down inside, I actually love it because I like to argue with them. But yeah, like 95%, and we're starting to ramp up with the remodeling side.
Yep.
Then also commercial.
Commercial. I haven't heard the commercial stuff. That's good.
Yeah. Somebody called wanted to get two of their Domino's buildings here in Louisville. Get those re-roofed, full roof replacement.
Yeah. Have you guys looked at them yet?
No, because it's the snow down here, so
Yeah.
gotta let that melt first.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is going to be super casual. I think ideally our goal is to try and have a guest on at times when people are available and it works out with the schedule. But other than that, it's just two guys in the industry hanging out, catching up, talking about what we see in the industry. We probably expect the episodes to be 30, 45 minutes, maybe more, maybe less. It depends on who's here, and if we have a good conversation rolling, we're not going to cut it off. So that's kind of what the plan is moving forward. I know that Simi and I actually just finished an appraisal today down in Louisville, which we had a very positive result out of. Wasn't a big one, but it worked out. I think it increased.
What'd you say again? It wasn't a big one?
It wasn't a big one. It wasn't a big claim. I mean,
just look at that. That's what she said.
Simi, you wore that. You did that on purpose.
I was waiting for an opportunity.
Did that on purpose.
Oh
my goodness.
I figured it would happen later on down the road, but that was pretty good.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so she completely broke my train of thought. Oh, that's funny. Well, so we just finished an appraisal down there. The appraisals are still going on. There's still arguments happening. We got the opposing appraiser on the phone today. I've been asking for his position for seems like a month. And it was substantial increase. I think the increase was probably close to 50%, wasn't it, over what the initial estimate was?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty close. Not quite, but about 45%.
Yeah.
So definitely a positive outcome for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the positive thing, obviously, you're getting the money that you should have gotten around the first go around, but the homeowner is actually getting, going to be able to get gutters now, which
we got the gutters added on that weren't on the original scope too. So there was some additional items too.
Yeah. Yes.
Made sure that the roof on the garage was fully vetted too. Got the proper flashings on there, like all the things.
Yeah.
Because I got him to change the drip edge gutter apron line item.
Mm-hmm.
You know how there's two drip edge line items when you look at my estimates.
Uh-huh.
So when it says just drip edge, that's for the rakes. You know what I mean? The rakes on the roof. And then the drip edge / gutter apron is the stuff that's on the eaves. So where you actually affix the gutters.
Okay.
So I got him to actually pay for the two separate line items the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was awesome to work with. I mean, he came out and did the inspection with one of your guys since I wasn't there.
calling. It was pretty quick too.
Yeah, and he was there. It was hard to get his position out of him, but once we did, I was super scared when I got his position yesterday, and I was it's the same as the insurance companies.
Yeah.
I was like, son of a gun, this is okay, and that's why I sent you the message. I was like, okay, here we go. This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware, he's gonna drag his feet, says he can't do anything, and then go to umpire, and then I know who the umpire is. The umpire's gonna crush it. We'll be just fine. But it's just one more hoop to jump through.
Yeah.
And when he called me, I was floored. He was like, "What's your number?" And I was thinking about it. I was like, 20 would be a little greedy. 19's probably about right. I said, probably 19. And that's when I texted you. I was like, 19 question mark.
Yeah.
Just to, can you build it for 19?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, yep. And I was like, sweet. And away we went.
Yeah. So you were actually talking to him when you text me.
Yep.
19.
I was on the phone with him.
Okay.
Because technically, like I thought 19 was a fair number.
Yeah, I do too.
But I don't want to put you in a situation where you would have been a little bit short, especially since you're having like the homeowners having to pay for the appraiser out of pocket and all of these things, right?
Right.
So just to make sure that has enough in there for you to build the job is important as well.
Right. No, that was good. That was a home run.
Yeah, it worked out really well. Now
there's a reason why we got you saved in my phone, Josiah the goat. With the goat emoji.
Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. Well, it's funny because I have one person that works with me, and I don't know if you've ever talked to Janelle. You trust me, you'd remember.
Maybe an email. I remember that name.
Yeah, maybe via email. But she's always so funny. So she was talking. I had a conversation with. I'm going to name drop a little bit, and I probably will do this moving forward. And more than likely, she'll probably be on the show at some point. Her name's Lisa Cimaroli. She owns a roofing company. They did just shy of we'll just put it this way, they did a lot. Okay. And I don't want to release numbers because I don't know if it's public, and she told that we were having a private conversation.
Yeah.
But she owns 10 location roofing company. I mean,
wow.
All the way from Jacksonville to Buffalo, New York. She actually lives really close to my good buddy Tom Dring, who will probably be on the show. And he is the national accounts manager for Da Vinci. You know, Da Vinci Tile.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the big wig sales dog over there now.
Okay, sweet.
So yeah, he used to be with Eagle View. I'm gonna call it the satellite company because it gets under his skin every time I say it.
Right.
It makes him laugh. But I said that we were doing it. I did a preview at one of the previous places I worked. I had him on for a Zoom call there was about 30 contractors there. I had him on just to talk about Eagle View and do his thing. Mm-hmm. And I said, yep, best satellite company in the country. And his face turned bright red. And I just busted out laughing. Because, Eagle View actually is the number one. They're the largest private plane fleet owner in the world. Like Eagle View. Yes. They have more private planes than any other company in the world.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So, have you seen their planes and what they do? Like, I'll pull it up.
Okay. Educate us.
Yep. See if I can find a picture. They fly this plane that's similar to this, but on the bottom of it,
it has like or something like that.
Yeah, they're bigger than Cessnas. It's more yeah. So like you can see here, the camera on the bottom right here. I'd have to ask my daughter what kind of plane this is because she's the plane expert. But you can see, yeah, for real. Like she can look up in the sky, Simi, and she'll see a plane and be like, "Oh, that's a such and such," and she's right. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, but you can see the camera right here on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
And
So
how
then
many how many you think they have?
I don't know. I never asked it. I'd be curious to know. I mean, it's got to be quite a bit if they're the largest private fleet in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, but honestly, excuse me, how many private planes does Jeff Bezos need? Like, if you find one, you buy it, and you're like, yeah, this one's cool. I'm just going to use this one.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need seven, you know.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
you just got too much money, man.
well, I mean, same thing with like Bill Gates. I guarantee he's got one, maybe two. Same with Musk. I guarantee he has one or two. And they have their two favorites, one for short jumps, one for long ones, and that's what they run with.
Yeah.
I actually knew a pilot that flew. He was a private jet pilot, and it was for a dealership here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had multiple locations, but yeah, that's all he did. So they'd call him and he'd be like, they're like, we want to go to wherever. He'd be like, all right, cool. Like, he'd plot it out, and that's all he did. That was his job, is he'd fly
Cool.
this private jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I went down a rabbit hole. I don't know. It was about a year or so ago, like looking at the pricing for that. Like if you just took a bunch of your friends to, I don't know, Florida or something, and you're not really like it doesn't matter how many people you have on the plane. I believe it was just one set price, and the more people that you have on there, if they fit, then you're just paying less per person or whatever. I forgot what the amount was, but
Oh, something stupid. Probably like 13,000, 14,000 a head.
yeah, yeah, it was something. Yeah, it was something that I'm like, no, I'll just fly Spirit.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I fly Delta, but I'm not sure that I'm going to fly more Delta after the plane crash in Toronto. Did you see that thing?
Today?
No, this is like been a few days.
Okay.
Was
No,
it
what
last
happened?
week? So like it was big news. It's like I don't know, Thursday, Friday last week. I don't know when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you just a second. But so we're watching the news, and this plane crashes, and so my daughter, the one that knows aviation, right,
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh, you know what happened is that it landed too hard and it collapsed the landing gear, and then it hit one of the engines, and then it rolled over on its top, so it finished like upside down."
Oh.
And so we had just seen it. It was like a CCTV camera feed, like wasn't real great. Like, you
Uh-huh.
could see it land, and then it just like poof of snow. I mean, it's Canada in the winter, and the this other video hasn't come out yet. And so a pilot in a different airline was filming the plane come in, and literally it landed too hard. It collapsed the rear landing gear, hit
Uh-huh.
the engine on the one wing, and then rolled over. Just what she had said. I'm
Man.
like, seriously, like, that's uncanny.
Yeah.
Uncanny. She's 14 years old. She knows more about aviation than probably some pilots do. Like, it's crazy.
Some people just have that knack. You know, you know something without knowing how you know it.
Yeah, and I couldn't even believe it. I mean, it was from that what the very first video that came out, and it's super grainy. It was all over TMZ. It happened the 17th. So 2 days ago? No, it's longer than that.
No,
Yeah, it
today.
was two days
Yeah.
ago.
It's the 19th.
And
Wow.
we were watching the video at the dining room table last night, and then this other video came out today where the pilot is watching it come down from his cockpit, because you can see the windows in the cockpit, and literally
Mhm.
you can watch the whole accident. I don't. I think everybody made it out okay. Thank
Oh, okay.
heavens, right? Yeah, I don't think any. I don't think.
That's good. Well, that's good.
I don't think there was some three critical. I think, but I'm not. I haven't heard if there had been um, anybody that passed away,
Okay.
which is crazy.
No, it is, especially when you're thinking it's upside down too. Like,
Well, the latest news story is Delta's offering each passenger 30 grand. to compensate him for that. I'm like,
Really?
yeah. Just reported 2 hours ago. I don't know how we got on aviation, but that's what we're doing now, I guess. This is going to be a roofing and aviation podcast.
Roofing and aviation. No, but that is interesting. No, 30,000. I wonder. I would take the 30, but I mean, I'm sure that's obviously you could probably fight them on that a little bit.
Well, it just depends on what the precedent is.
Yeah.
Just like our industry. It just depends on the precedent, because like when I was talking with Lisa has a thing with her Roof Rider Academy where she's got a really interesting business model. So it'd be fun to have her on. You'd learn a lot from her. She's super sweet.
Cool.
But
you'll have to get her going.
Yeah, well, and they're all down at IRE right now, the International Roofing Expo. That's going on right now. Have you ever been to a roofing expo?
No,
Never, not once.
No, it's time, obviously, but
it's gonna blow your mind, dude. There's like this one. I went to IRE. I think that was 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the one that was in New Orleans, and everybody's there.
Okay.
Like every manufacturer, every tech company, everybody. So like everybody from, like, we were there. I was with Estimate Mastery at the time. We were there, but like supplement companies were there. Da Vinci, GAF had a huge booth. Owens Corning had a huge booth. Like everybody is there, even down to like the commercial roofing stuff. So they had like commercial equipment and Duralast and Firestone, and all of those guys are all there. Cool. It's always a bet to see who has the biggest booth.
Right.
I think GAF won that year. Their booth was ginormous.
Oh,
and they've got stuff hanging from the ceiling, like big GAF logo. It's crazy.
Now is this Florida, or are they just changed up the?
They changed this year. It's in San Antonio, I think.
Okay.
I was thinking about going, and time just gets away from you. You know.
Yeah.
3 kids. You know, if you have 4 kids at home and snow days and cold days. I mean, my wife would have killed me if I was gone this week. She would have killed me. It would have been literally the podcast moving forward would have been Simi in the beach background.
Right. We're still waiting on JoJo to come arrive, but it'll be one of these days. Oh man.
What else? What else is going on?
So is the flu real bad down there still?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Flu A. What do we have? Flu A, strep throat. Now it's going to help this week because they went to school Monday. They've been out of school on Tuesday. They are out of school today. They're out of school tomorrow, and it's supposed to be just as cold on Friday. So hopefully it kind of like kiboshes all that down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be minus 30s. Would you say minus negatives? Like minus 30s more plus more? Like,
oh my God.
In between minus 30 and minus 40 in the morning?
That's
wild. I know I've got like 6 or 7 roofs that I need to go look at. Like nothing I can do. I've got a buddy that owns a couple rental houses. He's like, "Hey, come look at my roof, see if I need to file a claim." And I was like, he had reached out to me 2 weeks before, and there's just no way.
Yeah.
So there's just no way. Like, I just couldn't get to him in time.
Yeah. No, I think tonight's supposed to drop down here in Louisville. It's
sorry, my daughter's texting me.
Oh, you're good.
You know,
like 7 degrees or something like that.
That's pretty cool for you guys.
It's cold here, yeah.
Seven degrees. That's real cold for you guys. You guys usually you guys will get in the 20s, right? You'll freeze.
Yeah, like 20s during the day. Like when it's real cold, it'll be like 20s, teens during the day, and then like single digits at night. But I've never heard or seen it go below 0. So we'll probably
below 0 right now.
Huh?
I said it's below 0 right now.
Gosh.
I think it was like tonight we're supposed to break a record low. The record's minus 11. We're supposed to hit minus 16 tonight. It's minus 3 right now. -3. We're in an extreme cold warning.
Oh, that's no good. That sucks.
We're still trying to figure out why we live in a place where the air hurts our face.
Right.
Yep. Hurts it in the summer, sunburn.
Yep.
Hurts it in the winter, cold. I mean, it's cold enough. You're outside for more than 3 or 4 minutes and you're frozen. Like you can actually, I think it's at the point where you can actually get frostbite in like 10 minutes.
That quick?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's going to be that cold in the morning.
Oh man,
I grew up when I was in high school, we used to have cold days like that, but it was because our main high school was built in 1903. It still had the radiator heat, the radiators that you could melt the erasers on. That one, like they look where they've been painted so many times. Like it's like, oh, the 7th coat of paint's coming off.
right. It's just bubbling off.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. Like when they would get this cold, they'd have to call it because the school would just be like 45 degrees. So, yeah, that was it. I mean, now that's been a few years.
Okay.
But, I don't mind like them calling it for cold days. That's fine. Whatever.
Right.
Just one less day I have to get out and drive him to school, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at it some way positive.
Although my 5-year-old's addicted to Xbox now, so there's that.
Oh well, did you put them onto it?
No, his sister did.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think he's played 10 hours today.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh man.
He looked at me and goes, Dad, my head kind of hurts. I was like, yeah, it's because you play too much Xbox.
Right.
He's like, can I have some Advil? I was like, yeah, we better take a break for a while. He's 5.
God. What's he playing on there?
Forza Horizon 5.
Okay. I know.
It's just a race car game.
Okay.
Like it's like an open world race car game. So he's got a purple a brand new purple Ford Bronco with lightning on it that he just drives over the mountains. And that's like his favorite thing.
And he picked that out himself.
Yeah, not going anywhere but fast. So yeah. So seeing a 5-year-old sitting on the couch with headphones on going like this as he's holding on for dear life to the controller trying to drive this truck, it's pretty funny.
Oh man. That's funny.
I'll have to say I took a picture of it. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay. Gosh, yeah, man, they could get in those zones for hours. I do have a question. So, okay, so we got it taken care of. What was the one I was going to ask you about? Oh yeah. So remember the one I had asked you, the hail over the last 2 years or 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't know if you ever told me a name on that one, which is fine.
No, it's cool. Yeah, she had filed a claim. It was initially with, so her insurance company now is Allstate. She's only been with them for 8 months. And then and it was like riddled with hail. So there was no denying it was hail, but then the insurance company came back and said, oh, the last hailstorm was such and such date 2 years ago. So we go contact Safeco. Everything seems fine, seems good. And then they came back and said the policy states that you have to file a claim within a year. So I guess the date was like June of 23. So she's basically screwed, it seems like. So we got a copy of her policy, and it's like, I don't know, page 14 of 68 or something like that. And it says it clear as day. It said, when in hail, you have 1 year to file the claim.
Didn't we find a hail date within the last 8 months?
I think that was the other one. It's a boyfriend girlfriend is what it is, but it's the guy's house who initially you found wind 2 years ago, but then we found something else where there was like down trees and power lines and stuff.
I thought the hail date was like 5/24.
You sure it was?
Let me look here real quick. I've got it right here.
Okay. But she's only been with Allstate for, like I said, 8 months. So it's got to be, I mean, we either got to find something for 8 months and do it with Allstate, or, shoot, I guess a 3-month, 4-month time frame with Safeco.
Pretty sure that I found one that was 5/24 when I was looking. I can't seem to find it now. Wait, then my email to you. I actually probably texted it to you. I probably didn't email it.
Let me try to pull it up.
Let me look.
And what sucks is it's riddled with it. I mean, it's like beat up. So I'm like, man, all this good hail going to waste.
Oh, yeah. I sent you 7/16/23 on that one.
Yeah, you were right on the date, the 5/26/24, but that was for the wind damage.
The wind damage. Yeah, I just saw that. Well, let me look here.
So we spoke about this just not too long ago in passing, but I think a lot of people will be interested in this. So, you pull up the storms, get a weather report, and it shows 5/26 hail damage, and it's 1.75 inches hail size over here. It's 1 inch over here. I mean, I remember you telling me something about, like, outside of a weather report, you can't just go strictly off of a weather report, because you don't know. I mean, you could drive down the street and see rain coming down, a mile down the way, and it's dry as a bone where you're driving. And it's like, how do you know if hail hit an area in a certain spot or not on a certain date?
You have no idea.
No idea.
Well, and I've seen it to where it'll just decimate a neighborhood, and then it'll go over a neighborhood, and there's nothing.
Well,
and you're like,
windstorm, you all ducked it. Remember, just a few months ago, or how long it's been? Like, it literally, like you said, like just like skipped or jumped your all's neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got an inch down in Heritage Creek on, what day is this? Sorry, I pulled up. I literally went and pulled up a map.
Okay.
4/24, or excuse me, 4/2. 4/2 of 24. I don't know if that's late enough or not.
Where are we? I think I'll still be outside of yeah. Because
I've got Louisville. That actually might be September 24th of 2024.
That would work.
An inch to an inch and a half.
Where was that at?
By Bardstown. Is that too far south?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 30, 40 minutes drive.
Yeah, that's down by Bardstown too. Evidently, you need to work, if you want to work hail claims, you need to go down to Bardstown.
I know they've been getting hit. What was the one on what was it? You pulled that one up, and that was in Louisville. Then they were saying it was like, what's that? It was like June or July of 24 for hail.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay, because that would work. That would be inside that 8-month.
This one you're talking about for G, right? Huffman.
Yeah, but the house that I'm talking about is just, it's probably like a maybe a 5-10 minute drive tops.
So they used a data of loss of 10-3 of 24.
Right. But they classified that as wind. I just sent that to an attorney today as well, or yesterday.
But they classified that.
Because they classified it as wind because it was $15,000 worth of interior damage. They initially didn't want to pay for the roof. It took me like a month or so to get the roof covered, but they covered the box vents, and it says on the scope clear as day, due to hail damage. And I'm like, you open coverage, so like you have to cover anything that's hail related. So
I'd use that one. That was with Nationwide.
yeah,
I'd use that date and just give them this as an example. To be honest.
okay. What was the date again?
10-3-24.
For hail?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So it's basically up to them to prove that there was, because they're saying it was wind that day, but they're saying there was no hail.
Well, it just depends on how big of a stickler they want to be. I mean, here's the thing though, is that a lot of people in the insurance industry won't go for data loss. They go off of data discovery.
Okay. We were talking about that with the homeowner today.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's another avenue if you can get them to bite on it. Now, I haven't seen photos of the roof, so I don't know what the hail damage looks like.
Mm-hmm.
If the matting on the back is dark and it's not all grayed out, storms do weird things. That's why they tout this too. They'll say, oh, you have to evaluate each roof individually. Okay. Well, it goes both ways, right? So the rest of the neighborhood didn't get hit. This house did. You have to evaluate each roof individually.
Right.
It is what it is. There's hail damage up there. We have no idea how long it's been up there. We discovered it less than a month ago or whenever. And we're just going to have to go that like it. You guys had the opportunity to come out and look at it when I signed my policy with you.
Good point.
You know, like every homeowner's policy is supposed to have a underwriting report done. Do they? Very few.
Right.
But then they fall back on, well, this is older. Prove it. There's not a test that I'm aware of, and I may be wrong. There's not, and for the two people that are going to listen to this, I may be wrong, but I'm almost positive there is not a test out there that can date when a hail shingle was damaged. There isn't. Yeah. I don't even know how you would begin to prove that.
Yeah, you could.
I mean,
I wouldn't think.
Measuring the gap and determining how much shrinkage there is. If it's been up there for a long time, sure, that might work. But within the last 3 years, it's not going to. Okay. If that hail happened 25 years ago, sure. Like you can look at it. It's going to be all grayed out. It's going to have pulled away from each other. So the fracture is going to be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way, there's no scientific way that they can go, oh, that's from the hailstorm in May of 2016. Okay. Let me throw a dart at all the hail days and see which one I get.
Right.
Time.
Exactly.
Just like me I worked a senior center claim. They send out an engineer. The engineer goes up there. There's hail hits everywhere. Everywhere. And so I bet I circled 30 before I took 3 steps onto the roof.
Oh, wow. That much.
I mean, everywhere. It looked like someone shot, because it was a commercial building. So they had one of the big, they call them gravity flow ventilators, but they're for the ventilation system above like a griddle or an oven, like a grill oven, like commercial, right?
Gotcha.
And so what they do is they cycle the range hood. That's what the word that I was trying to get.
Okay.
The hood that's over like the food prep area in a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
And it looked like someone shot it on the side with a shotgun.
Daggone.
I mean, there's tents everywhere. And the insurance company's like, no, no damage up here, which is fine. It was a spray foam roof. I get it. Like, not very many people walked a spray foam roof. I've just happened to walk a ton because there's a really good spray foam roof company that's based out of Kearney, Nebraska, and they do everybody in the state. Like, even if I'd sell a spray foam roof as independent contractor, like if I was doing my own thing as a roofing company, I would hire them to do my spray foam. I'd never touch it. I would hire them, and they're cost effective enough that I could do it.
Okay.
And so they've done hundreds of thousands of roofs in Nebraska. So I've looked at a ton. And I get up there and I laugh because the engineer's like, well, this is indicative of a hail hit. Like, it's going to look like a crow's foot and it's going to have a slight indentation.
Oh.
So literally, I'm taking pictures of a crow's foot with slight indentations on this roof. Like, literally.
Yeah. The exact same
disputing
thing.
what he is saying.
Yeah.
And so I write this big long report. It took me 3 days to write this report. And essentially just completely debunking everything that he said. Which they ended up paying for the roof. We had to get an attorney involved.
Sweet.
But we ended up paying for the roof. Or they ended up paying for the roof.
Right. So how long thereafter did it get approved?
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. It was nuts. It's like, why are we doing this? Like, and the engineer's like, well, I don't think the hail is the appropriate size. So, okay, so back this whole train up here a little bit. In 2020, April of 2023, the town that this was in got annihilated. Every roof in that town got replaced, or dang near everyone.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking anywhere from 1.75 inches to 2 inch hail, right? So it's not just the roof; it's siding, windows, gutters.
Yeah.
The church that was right across the street from the senior center, I got it. I got it replaced with my supplement.
Okay.
So I knew that I'd been down to both of them. I knew there was hail damage down there. And this engineer's like, well, the dents on top of the ventilator have dust in them. So I think it's older than that it's older than 9 months old. And so literally I'm standing there with the ventilator in front of me. I take a picture of a grain elevator. It's a half block away. What do grain elevators do really, really well? Produce dust. They store grain and they produce dust.
Yeah.
To the point where you can't smoke inside a grain elevator because you go kaboom. Like, of course there's dust. Look around. Survey your area. Are you kidding me? And it's a nonprofit senior center that serves Meals for Wheels out the back.
That makes it even worse, man.
Like, it makes you sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
So it was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Like, such a blatant disregard for any type of factual information.
I hate that, man.
Like, and these guys are just trying to survive.
Yeah. Literally.
Literally trying to survive because I mean, they don't have $100,000 to put a new roof on.
Right.
They don't. Like, they have benefactors that pay for the meals that they get, and they make a little bit of money because people come and eat at lunch. But I mean, come on. And that's what gives the insurance companies specifically a bad rap. Is stories like that. Like, or I've got another one. Got hit by a tornado. Right. I've been fighting this thing since May, June at the latest.
Wow.
We're 9 months in, right? We're 9 months in. My estimate's over $700,000. It's a big house.
Okay.
Right? It's like a 1.
This one.
Yeah. We've talked about it. 1.2, 1.3.
Okay.
Big house. Beautiful. Gorgeous house. It was within 100 feet of an EF4 tornado. It withstood it. Whoever built it did a fantastic job.
Okay.
The back wall's out of plumb. The hardy board has debris shoved underneath it. All the window sills got sucked out of the windows. The window bit alone was like $280,000.
Wow.
And you know what State Farm does? They send out, and this is going to sound ageist, and I don't mean that, I'm old too, but the guy was ancient. He graduated in 1965 from college with his engineering degree. Right. And he walks around, he goes, I'm only looking at the windows. Okay, that's cool. I'm here to facilitate. Like, just trying to get some type of thing. Only here to look at the windows. And so, no, windows are all wear and tear.
Oh, that's dark.
Homeowners like, well, they've got condensation. They're fogging up. They didn't do that last year. They're doing it now. What's the difference between last winter and this winter? They're a year older, sure. They may have had an EF4 tornado in their backyard. That if you've ever been in a tornado, trust me, I don't advise it. I've done it. I was stupid enough in college that I was a storm chaser. We used to chase tornadoes all over the Midwest. Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
Well, my degree's in meteorology, so that's what we would do for fun. Dude, I found it like not too long ago. The big VHS. Like it was not the huge tape, but the medium sized tape, right?
Yeah, the little mini.
Yeah. I went out and bought one. Like my last $200, I bought one of those, and that's what we used to film the tornadoes.
Oh my gosh, those were the good.
But well, let me tell you what happens in a tornado. It's a vacuum. It's a vacuum. The low pressure is so severe that it just sucks everything. Like that's why it's so like in a tornado, and like same thing with a hurricane. The minute you lose that first window, you have to expect all the other windows are going to go.
Okay.
Because it's going to try and equalize the house, and it does it very, very rapidly. Now on this one, the father-in-law lives in. They have like a mother-in-law, father-in-law suite in the basement, right? And he's in his 70s, career smoker. I think the old adage is he's been smoking since Jesus wore short pants when they're really old. But he's in the basement. They're in the tornado shelter. He couldn't breathe for like 35 seconds.
What?
Because of the vacuum was so strong.
That's scary.
It's terrifying. And so then they come out expecting, I'll say who it is. It's Big Red. You know who that is. Everybody knows who Big Red is. This isn't rocket science. Like, they come out expecting Big Red to have their back after going through this terrifying experience. The reason that I got involved, no one would call him. They sent out the initial adjuster. He said, here's, I think they gave him $50,000 for personal property. Here's $30,000 for your house. And now we're not going to talk to you again.
Wow.
Like, I got involved because of a lack of response from Big Rat.
Okay.
And not only the adjuster, but the agent. So like, the agent too. Dude, this thing was a spicy disaster when I got involved.
Oh, that's ugly.
And so we've been fighting uphill the whole way. We have a guy come out. So engineer comes out, does his thing. We're like, whatever. And I told him, I was like, they're going to deny the windows. I already know that. It's fine. And so I beg and plead for months to just have another adjuster out. Like, or an engineer, I don't care. Do a full inspection. So they send out 2 cat guys.
Okay.
2 cat guys were awesome.
They usually are.
Yeah. Two brothers from Dallas came up and were running cat claims. They're great. And they're crawling all around this. And he's like, the one guy turns and looks at me and goes, how is this not to a large loss adjuster? Why am I even here? He calls my homeowner. Gets better. He calls my homeowner 3 weeks later and says, hey, I'm getting ready to cut you a check. My estimate's over $700,000. Next correspondence we get from State Farm, we're sending another engineer out.
Of course.
This engineer comes out. This is like just keep stacking the ice cream scoops, right?
Right.
The next structural engineer comes out. It's from Never Held, I think is the name of the company. I've never interacted with them.
Okay.
I did twice with them.
Time here.
Yeah, I did twice with them. Both were denials. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Both of them are damaged. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm talking to this engineer, and he's a young guy, which is fine, whatever. I get along with everybody. And I'm like, so what's your scope? What's your purview? Like, what are you here to look at? And he goes, I'm here to look at the structural components only. I said, that's a very narrow scope for what you actually need.
Yeah.
I said, I need someone to do a full eval. I mean, Simi, the stone facade on the front got chunks out of it from the debris.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Like, I'm telling you, like now, not going to say a whole lot more because it's going to litigation.
Okay.
But like, just the way that this has been handled, like, and I hate the word bad faith. I think it gets thrown around way too much.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm truly like, yeah, that's it. Like, if I was going to define it, it would be this, because they've blatantly disregarded me as the public adjuster, but the homeowner, and they'll just go radio silent for weeks.
Oh, it's so annoying, man.
And it's terrible. And he's at a loss. He's like, what am I supposed to do? I said, well, this is like, we'll just keep trying.
Yeah.
Just keep trying. Like, you know, and I said, sometimes when things like this happen, it takes 9 months, a year, 15 months to get any type of resolution. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know, he's got broken out windows on his house that are boarded up right now. Still.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Well, his windows were Peachtree. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
We can't even get them up here anymore.
See, I guess because that's almost a similar situation because
it was very similar.
Yeah, and I'll go back to yours because I have a few questions, but you know, Hancock comes out and they find hail damage all on every slope of the roof, right up for his window screens, a little bit of siding. What was it, like 14 shingles or something like that? And then, you know, I've always been taught, like, go ahead and get an engineer come out. If you've got, I mean, pure logic says if you've got a third-party inspector wrote up damage, just go ahead and get the engineer out and just corroborate it. He says he doesn't see any damage, like none, no hail hits at all whatsoever.
And if he does see damage, it's mechanical.
That part. So, of course, it's a litigation, and Lenore's all, you know, didn't want to litigate. I think she treats litigation, that word, as, you know, she's going to die or something. I'm like, you know, you have to go about it like this. You don't have a choice.
Now, did you pay someone on a retainer then, essentially?
It's like, what is it? No, it's one of those, you don't get paid unless we do, or whatever.
Contingency fee basis.
Yeah, so it's like 20 or 25%, something like that.
The cool thing is so on that senior center, the attorney, although he didn't settle it for what I wanted him to, and I won't get into details, but he only took 6%, which was cool of him.
Oh yeah.
And he paid me a healthy chunk of that. So for all of my stuff, but
so the 1.2 million house, is that under litigation right now? I mean, has it gone? I mean,
it hasn't. So we did some vetting of attorneys to find one that he was comfortable with, and then we were supposed to meet this week. And of course, with the cold and all of that, like, and it being an exterior claim, it kind of sucks walking around the house when it's -10.
Yeah, just a tad.
So we moved it to next week, but yeah, it's trending that direction. If I thought that State Farm would go to appraisal, I'd go to appraisal and try and do it that way. But what's going to happen is it's going to go to attorney. Attorney's going to write a letter, and then it's going to go to appraisal anyways. So we just kind of skipped into having the attorney start doing the work.
Hold on. So you could, okay. So what I've always been told is you can, you know, if you're not doing anything with like the adjuster and the supervisor, then you could go to appraisal or you could get an attorney. But you're saying with an attorney, you still have to there's still a potential of getting an appraisal done.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So sometimes the judge will require either an appraisal or a mediation.
Okay.
Prior to proceeding towards the more formal litigation that we're all familiar with because of, shows like Suits and Law and Order and all of that,
Right.
I'm surprised they haven't come up with a Chicago attorneys. They have Chicago Fire, they have Chicago PD, Chicago Med, and then it's Chicago Public Defenders.
Right.
Something.
Right. We need to work on that.
Got to call Dick Wolf. That's the guy who did all those shows. He did all the Law and Order ones too.
Yeah.
Produced by Dick Wolf.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. That's a lot of rambling topics that we've covered this week.
I know. Well, good luck with the 1.2 million. So, okay, it's one other question on 1.2.
Okay.
And it's the same thing with Lenora. How? I mean, it's a rhetorical question, but at the same time, it's like something's got to make sense. How are you a multi-billion-dollar company, and you, the insurance company, they hire a third-party inspector to come out. He writes the thing up for $700K, and then
it wasn't a third party. It was a State Farm cat adjuster.
It
was a staff guy. Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
Your own company. And then you flip on him. Oh, like, no, that we're not going to roll with that. Let's go ahead and get another engineer out here. Like, you have to know at that point, it's like, dude, it's never going to fly in front of a judge or a jury or whatever.
Oh no. Well, and that's the thing though, too, is like with that one in particular, like when the second engineer came out, he was testing the back wall with a level and it had a bulge in it. Yeah. What? Yep. He said it was elastic rebound and it could just a little bit of drywall repair would take care of it.
You're lying.
I'm dead serious.
What?
Yeah.
So what did you say? No, 2 questions. What did you think, but what did you say?
Oh, about that? I haven't responded to that yet.
Oh, this wasn't in person. This is it via email?
No, he's not going to tell me that in person. Are you kidding? Because I'm going to laugh him out of laugh him off the property.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, if you were in person, like, I know you like, what was your response?
Oh, where did you get your engineering license? Walmart? Like, hey, the Dollar General called. They want their engineering license back.
Oh,
like,
man.
Are you kidding? Like, I read that and I was just like, oh my God. Like, you guys, because I will, like, if that goes litigated. So what I truly hope it happens, and it's big enough, right? It's big enough that when it goes to litigation, there's no settling that thing for 120,000. Like, they're not going to be able to come in and be like, we'll give you 250 or we'll give you 300.
Right.
There's no way that because I've educated the homeowner enough that goes, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Somewhere between the $600,000 and $800,000 range, somewhere in that.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, because prices fluctuate and I haven't rewritten the estimate or I repriced it since I wrote it. We did it all bid pricing too. So we brought a roofer out, we brought a deck company out, we brought siders out and got bid pricing because I wanted bid pricing because it was going to be that large.
Yeah.
And just the blatant disregard for factual evidence is truly disheartening.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It sucks. And, the thing of it is I keep telling my homeowner, okay, and like, this is the next step. Like, after we get response from something, I'll call and be like, yep, this is what happened. I told you this was going to happen. So here's our next step. We've already talked about it. And yep. All right, let's do it. I mean, we got the engineer's report back, but like every time that we've talked, like I've prepped him for, okay, these are the 2 likely scenarios here. One is the good way, one's the bad way. Like, and this is what's going to happen either way.
Yeah.
And that way, the minute that it happens, like, so we got the engineer's report back in January.
Okay.
I called him. I said, it was just after New Year's. I said, Happy New Year. I didn't call you because of New Year's. And he goes, I figured you didn't. I go, well, they did what I thought they would do. He goes, they denied it again, didn't they? I go, yep. He goes, I said, well, we have two options moving forward. So I got the call at 10 a.m. New Year's Day. Not joking. 10 a.m. on New Year's Day is when I got the phone call.
Wow.
From State Farm saying that they weren't going to increase payments at all. 10 a.m. on New Year's Day. Tell me what they were doing there. Tell me the optics of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember like everybody's usually off and not working.
They do that on purpose. That way they can leave it on voicemail. They don't get the argument.
Yep.
I know what you're doing.
Exactly.
I do it too. I get it. Like, but it's so gnarly.
Okay. Two questions.
You're learning a lot.
No, on the fly, and I love it. That's why you're the GOAT. So we've got, how could it even be less than 700,000 if your own people come out and write up for 700,000? It can't be lower than 700.
The big red math. It's magic. It's like the new math. Like math is math. This is not math. The math is not math.
The math ain't mathing, man.
No, the math is mething is what it's doing. Like, seriously.
Who's the adjuster? Methany? Oh my gosh. You have to laugh to keep our sanity, but like
my headphones got weird.
You're dealing with
I don't know why it did
people's
that.
lives and stuff, man. This, like the stories like this is what, like I said, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like to fight, but like right is right and wrong is wrong. So for me, the money takes care of itself in this stuff, but like I really do enjoy starting off with these insurance companies saying, "Oh, we're not going to pay for nothing," and they give these bullshit excuses as to why they're not going to. Just price sheet approved in October. We do everything in January. Oh, we're not updating the price list. Why not? We've never done it like that. Nationwide. I literally have multiple scopes where I can show you proof that these prices were updated. Well, every situation's different, but you just told me already you all don't do that. So yeah, have you seen that? I'm gonna put you up on a TikTok game. FAFO #FAFO. Fuck around and find out.
I know what it is. Yeah.
I told Holly that last night. She's like, "What? What is that?"
My world's all FAFO.
God.
Like, that's what happened to that engineer. I bet he looked like a fool, dude, by the time I was done. I bet his report got passed around because I annihilated him, completely eviscerated him. And I'm just a lowly meteorologist. Imagine what I could do with an engineering degree.
Right.
I could deny a whole lot of claims.
That's sad. That's sad and scary. So can those two engineers that denied everything, can they get in trouble?
You can file a complaint with the board, with the state board.
Okay.
So, and that's what a lot of PAs will do. But here's the thing. I don't look at those two as them being the ones at fault. I look at them as being the one at fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, being the one at fault.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that limited their scope. You're only looking at the windows. You're only looking at the structural. Why not send someone out to look at the whole thing?
Right.
Like, send someone out to look at the whole thing. Like, that's what needed to happen 8 months ago.
Right.
Not February. God, it's almost March. Like,
almost.
What are we doing?
Oh yeah, over a year later. That's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It really is.
Well, we talked longer than I thought we were going to.
How long was it?
Hour and a half.
Are you serious?
Yeah, hour and 20, probably. Hour and 25.
That's crazy. Because when you said 45, I'm like, oh, that's a long time.
Oh yeah, no, it won't be. It'll be hard to keep it to 45. We'll have to be very purposeful, but
Okay.
yeah, I think next week I might try and get Janelle on. But yeah, I mean, other than that, this is just where the industry's trending, and it stinks.
Yeah.
You're going to see a bigger need for public adjusters. You're going to see a bigger need for property attorneys. People like me that go around and train, like people like John Cenac. I'm going to name drop again. Have you ever done any of John Cenac's stuff?
You told me about him.
Dude, I saw him like 10 days ago. It was amazing. Like the training that he does is fantastic.
Okay.
But yeah, well, that's the inaugural episode, the introductory episode.
Yes.
The first episode. Should we start that off by numbering them? This is episode number 2. Who does number 2 work for? Remember that movie?
No, what is that?
Oh, it was one of the Austin Powers movies. Did you ever
Oh,
watch those? It was like, yeah.
dude.
2? I think it was 2. Austin Powers.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways. All right. Stopping the recording.